5 Signs Your Marriage is in Trouble, and How to Fix It. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Those ancient words from Hosea 4:6 still echo through time, reminding us that what we don't know can truly hurt us, especially in marriage. In a world full of noise, expectations, and distractions, many couples lose sight of the knowledge and understanding that first brought them together. They start strong, full of love and promise, but somewhere along the way, the connection begins to fade. Today, we're talking about 5 signs your marriage might be in trouble and how to fix it. This isn't to scare you, it's to bring light, because knowledge is power, and awareness is the first step toward healing.
Sign 1. You feel disconnected. Sometimes two people can live under the same roof, but feel like strangers in the same house. You share a bed, you share responsibilities, but your hearts are miles apart. Michael and Ruth used to talk about everything: dreams, fears, plans for the future. But lately, their conversations have become short, surface level, filled with sighs and silence. Michael scrolls through his phone at dinner. Ruth sits across from him, pretending to be busy with her plate, but deep down, she wonders, when did we stop talking? That's how disconnection creeps in, silently, subtly. You begin to walk on eggshells. You stop saying how you feel because you're afraid of being misunderstood. You start doing life beside your spouse instead of with them. But here's the truth. Connection doesn't just happen. It's built, moment by moment, choice by choice. Reconnection begins when you both choose to be intentional again. Schedule time together not just to talk about bills or the kids, but to talk about you. Practice active listening. Put the phone away. Look into each other's eyes. Appreciate the little things again, the way your spouse laughs, the way they think, the effort they make. Sometimes the path back to closeness begins with something as small as, "How was your day?" and genuinely waiting to hear the answer.
Sign 2. Criticism and defensiveness. When love turns into blame, every conversation becomes a battlefield. You might hear yourself saying things like, "You never listen to me. You always forget. You don't care." And in return, your partner builds walls, defending, explaining, fighting back. That's how criticism and defensiveness feed each other. One attacks, the other shields, and soon both are exhausted. But what's often behind criticism is a hidden need. When you say, "You never listen," what you might really mean is, "I miss feeling heard." When you say, "You don't care," maybe what you mean is, "I need to feel valued." If only we could pause long enough to see the pain behind the words. Instead of "you always," try "I feel." Instead of pointing fingers, reach out your hand. Michael once told Ruth, "You're always on your phone." She shot back, "Well, maybe because you're always at work." But one evening, they decided to talk differently. Michael said softly, "I miss talking to you. When we're both distracted, I feel alone." That one sentence changed everything. Empathy disarms defensiveness. Understanding builds bridges. When you start speaking from the heart, not to win, but to heal, love finds its way back.
Sign 3. Lack of intimacy. Intimacy isn't just physical. It's emotional, spiritual, and mental. It's the warmth of being truly seen and accepted. When intimacy fades, you begin to feel invisible. You share a room, but not your heart. You touch, but it doesn't feel the same. For some couples, intimacy fades because of exhaustion, careers, children, endless responsibilities. For others, it's unspoken hurt, unresolved conflict. But intimacy can be rebuilt. Start small. Hold hands again. Sit close while watching a movie. Write notes. Compliment your spouse sincerely. Emotional intimacy grows from safety, the safety to be vulnerable, honest, and imperfect. Ruth once whispered to Michael, "Do you even find me attractive anymore?" He looked at her startled. He had no idea she felt that way. That conversation, painful as it was, became a turning point. Intimacy begins with courage, the courage to open up again. When you nurture that space, you don't just restore passion, you rebuild friendship.
Sign 4. Avoidance and withdrawal. Avoidance is the quiet killer of connection. It starts with, "Let's talk later," but later never comes. When conflict feels uncomfortable, silence becomes easier. But silence over time becomes distance. You start avoiding certain topics, then certain conversations, and eventually each other. Avoidance says, "I don't want to make it worse." But in reality, it makes it worse. Healthy relationships aren't built on avoidance, but on honesty, even when honesty feels messy. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to express pain. What's not okay is pretending everything's fine when it's not. Michael once told a friend, "I just stay quiet to keep the peace." But peace isn't the absence of noise. True peace is the presence of understanding. If you've been avoiding your spouse emotionally, take a gentle step today. Say, "Can we talk?" And when you talk, listen not to reply, but to understand. Healing begins where truth is spoken.
Sign 5. Lack of trust. Trust, the invisible thread that holds everything together. Once it breaks, even the smallest doubt feels like a storm. Sometimes, trust is lost because of betrayal. Other times, it fades through inconsistency, promises not kept, words not matched by actions. But trust, though fragile, can be rebuilt. It starts with transparency, being honest, even when it's uncomfortable, following through, even on the small things, choosing forgiveness, even when it feels undeserved. Michael once made a promise to Ruth that he broke, not out of malice, but carelessness. It took months of patience, effort, and accountability to win back her trust. But he did it by showing up consistently, proving through actions that love was still worth fighting for. Rebuilding trust is a journey, but every honest step moves you closer to safety again. The root cause? Lack of knowledge. Every broken area in marriage can often be traced back to one thing: lack of knowledge, poor communication, unresolved conflicts, fading intimacy. All these begin when we stop learning about each other. You see, marriage isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily education, a commitment to grow, to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn together. When you stop learning, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, love begins to wither. But the good news? You can always start again. Seek help. Talk to a counselor. Attend workshops. Read books. Surround yourself with couples who are growing. Knowledge is light, and light chases away the darkness of confusion.
Reflection time. Now, think about your relationship. What communication habits need healing? What topics have you been avoiding? What little things can you start doing again to reconnect? How can you make your marriage a safe space again? Not a battlefield, but a home. Maybe it's time to learn your partner's love language again. Maybe it's time to forgive. Maybe it's time to say, I still choose you. Remember, it's not too late. Every strong marriage has faced storms. What makes them stand is their willingness to rebuild. So don't give up. Don't withdraw. Don't assume it's too far gone. With knowledge, understanding, and commitment, your marriage can heal, thrive, and flourish again. If this message spoke to you, take a step today. Seek growth. Seek understanding. Seek God's wisdom for your marriage. Marriage is a journey, and even when the road gets rough, there's always a path back to harmony. Join our community of couples learning, healing, and growing together. Subscribe, stay connected, and let's keep building marriages that stand the test of time. And in the comments, share one thing you'll start doing this week to strengthen your bond, because your story could inspire someone else's restoration. This is Marriage with Harmony, where awareness brings fulfillment and love finds its way home again.